Welcome to Mountainside. This is not a how-to video, but it is a video of how I do things. And today it's fun with John. So right now what I'm doing is I'm removing all the scobies from my John tea. John we like to call, at least Amy and I do, the crazy cousin of kombucha. Because kombucha is a black tea with sugar, and John is a green tea with honey. So we do the green tea with honey to make John. Now, when I started this tea 2 weeks ago, it had 1 SCOBY in, and it pulled out 4. And this is the first ferment. So this was green tea, honey, and 1 SCOBY. So now I'm going to start the second ferment, and I'm going to take my 100% juice that we like to flavor with, and I do a 4-to-1 ratio. So that means I'm going to do 1 cup of juice, 100% pure, because you don't want additives, but you need the sugar for the second ferment and for the carbonation. And so it's 1 cup of the juice and 4 cups of the tea. So let me do that. I'm going to put that there. And we'll get 1 cup of juice. I know you can't see it. But again, it's not a how-to, it's a how I do. And this is just for fun. So it's 1 cup of my juice. You do want to make sure that everything you're using is clean, but you don't want to use anything antibacterial, because you want the bacterias from your ferments, from my understanding, to get all the good probiotics. I think that's what they are. Now I'm pouring the tea into the measuring cup. So that's 4 cups of tea to 1 cup of my juice. And now I'm going to add those 2 together. And that's my mix. But what we like to do is we like to have some that get the second ferment and some that do not, but we like the flavor. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my main mix and I'm going to break it down to some of these littler bottles. I guess since we're not going to second ferment these, we don't need the head space, so we're just going to fill these up all the way. And have a nice to-go. And now we just keep on repeating that. One cup of juice. Doesn't have to be exact. But if you find yourself a flavor you like, that your friends like, it's good to have the process repeatable. And as a former quality manager, I'm really big on repeatable processes. So whenever I'm doing something, I try to make sure that I can understand it and repeat it, and that way I could show somebody else what I do if they decide to do it themselves. Four to one. And as you can see, we use a variety of bottles here. These thicker glass bottles with the sealable lids work great for the second ferment because that has to be airtight when you're doing it. These green bottles, one will be second fermented, one will not. Because one of them I'm actually taking on a trip with me today. So I'll take that one on the trip with me. Let's do another. I don't know about y'all, but when we take road trips, we prefer to take a lot of our own stuff with us as we're going, instead of trying to stop somewhere and finding something that we could eat and enjoy. But if we're growing our own and making our own, well, we're going to travel with our own. Just makes a lot more sense that way. So it's 1 cup of juice. So 4 cups of tea. Nice and mixed. Actually, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to see how much tea I have left here, because I have enough with my scobies for my next starter of tea. So that was right around 2 cups of tea. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add 1 cup of juice. Quarter cup of juice to that tea. Because that's, again, a 4 to 1 ratio. And I'm going to try this. And there we go. Now what I'm going to have to do a little bit later, once I get all this sealed up, is I'll take the scobies. I'll put the ones I'm not going to use. We have a jar. It's called call it a SCOBY hotel, where we take all of our unusing scobies, stick them in to preserve them. But the one I'm going to use, I'll keep here to go into my next tea, which is actually steeping right now. And I'll be making that a little bit later.